Now we discuss illustration 10. This illustration is based on the concept of accommodation bill. We understood what is accommodation bill. So this bill is drawn and accepted for mutual financial need purpose, either the financial needs of drawer or drawee or both the parties. There is no trade transaction between these two parties, but even though they will draw the bill and accepted by other party. Generally, these mutual accommodation bills are between friends only. Between friends, these mutual accommodation bills are legally not valid. Sir, why they are drawing mutual accommodation bill? Why? Because a bill of exchange can be discounted with the bank and instantly we get funds on the due date. It may be after 2 months or 3 months. Meantime, these people will arrange the funds and they will honor the bill. You may ask a doubt, sir, for discounting the bill the bank will charge some discount na? Yes, see, if I want to borrow money from outside, I have to pay interest na, and that too, who will pay, who will lend money to me? Clear? So in those situations, this accommodation bill will help us. Hope you understood. So we already understood how this accommodation bill operates. Now we try to solve a problem on accommodation bill. X draws on Y. Who is drawer? X. And who is drawee? Y. And in the accommodation bill, there is no concept of purchase and sale of goods. I repeat, in the accommodation bill, there is no concept of purchase and sale of goods. A bill of exchange for 30,000 on 1st April 2022. X draws on Y a bill of exchange for 30,000 on 1st April 2022 for 3 months. So what is the due date of the bill? Tell me. Illustration 10. The bill is drawn on for 1 4 2022. 1 4 2022 and it is drawn for 3 months. 1 7 2022. It is a time bill na, 4 7 2022. We had 3 days of grace. So what is the due date of the bill? 4 7 2022. Y accepts the bill and sends it to X, who gets it discounted for 28,500. Okay, fine. Before continuing, let us see the requirement of the problem. What is the requirement of the problem? Give the journal entries in the books of X and Y. Give the journal entries in the books of X and Y. First, we draw the formats in the books of X and in the books of Y. Then after, we start recording one by one transaction. Look at first in the books of drawer, journal. Next, in the books of drawing, journal. In the books of drawer, journal. In the books of drawing, journal. Fine. Now look at first, X draws a bill on Y and Y accepted. For X it is bills receivable, for Y it is bills payable. First record these entries. 2022 January 1st. Sorry, April 1st. April 1st. Bills receivable account debit. How much? 30,000 to Y account. 30,000. That's it. Being bill drawn and accepted for account, being bill drawn and acceptance received from Y for accommodation purpose. Now the same transaction becomes bills payable from drawee point of view. Means sorry, Here we should write in the books of y. Here we should write in the books of x. Okay. Now, from y point of view, it is bills payable. From y point of view, it is bills payable. Entry 2022 April 1st. X account debit to bills payable account. How much? 30,000. It is also 30,000. That's it. Next one. Now what X did? X discounted this bill with the banker. This transaction is between bank and X. This transaction is nowhere related with Y. So record the entry in the books of X. On which date? Date is not given. Assume on the same date. We discounted the bill amount now. So bank account debit 28,800. Bank charged a discount. So discount account debit 1200 to bills receivable account. Oh, just a minute. I am writing in the books of Y. Go to in the books of X and write down on the same date. Bank account debit 28,800. Discount account debit 1200 to we hand over bill to bank now to bills receivable account 30,000. That's it. Over. Next, what happened? Look at from here till here. It happens in case of trade bills also. One person draws a bill on other person and he will discount the same with the banker. Till here the same in case of trade bills, but from here it is little bit change. X immediately remits 9,600 to Y. After discounting the bill, X is immediately sending 9,600 rupees to Y. Here the proceeds of the bill is shared between X and Y. When the proceeds of the bill is shared, the discount portion also should be shared. When the bill amount is shared between parties, the discount amount also shared. Sir, how the discount is distributed between two parties? How they check how they are sharing the amount? In the same proportion, we share the discount also. In the same proportion, we share the discount also. Do remember. Clear? Now look at. So how do we record the entry? First in the books of X, because we are sending money now. What is the entry we record? To whom we are sending money? Y. Y account debit to bank account. How much amount we are sending? 9,600. How much amount we are sending? 9,600. And discount also we have to share on Y. Earlier we debited discount na. Now simply that discount account gets credit. Simply that discount account gets credit. Now you people tell me how they are sharing amount. Total bill amount is 30,000. 28,800 received. 1,200 discount. Out of this, how much X is using and how much Y is using? To Y we sent to 9,600. 28,800 minus 9,600. 19,200 used by X. Now, how much discount is borne by Y? How to calculate? Discount amount into how much amount utilized? 9,600 divided by what is the total proceeds received? What is the total proceeds received? 28,800. Calculate. 1200 into 9600 divided by 28,800. 400 rupees is borne by Y, and 800 rupees discount is borne by X. Clear? To put it simple, for 28,800, what is the discount amount? 1200. Then how much amount used by Y? 9600 used by Y. So that how much amount? 9600 is used by Y. So much, how much amount? So cross multiplication. You get the same. Already in X books, discount account debited with how much? 1200. Now reduced by 400 rupees. But the difference of 800, ultimately who is bearing this? X. Okay. So now total Y account is debited with 10,000 rupees. This entry is the difference between trade bills and accommodation bills. Now we are sending money to Y. So Y is receiving amount. So in the Y books, we are sending money to Y. So Y is receiving amount. Entry. Bank account debit, cash or bank account debit. How much amount he is receiving? 9600. And discount also he has to bear. So discount account debit. How much discount? 400. To who is the giver of cash? X. So total X account credit 10,000. Observe, in Y books, X account is debited with how much? 30,000. Now X account is credited with how much? 10,000. What is the difference? 20,000. On the due date, observe, due date is on 4th July 2022. On due date, X has to remit 20,000. X has to remit 20,000. Y will add more 10,000 rupees and he will honor the bill on 4th July 2022. This is accommodation bill. Because who accepted the bill? Y. Y has to honor the bill. To honor this bill, X has to send 20,000. Y will add 10,000. Total amount 30,000. Total amount 30,000. Y will honor the bill. If it is happened, X happy, Y happy, bank happy. But in case of accommodation bill, this will never happen. In the examination problem, they will not cut the problem till here. They will continue the problem. What is that? On the due date, they continue the problem like this. On the due date, X is unable to remit his share. How much his share? 20,000. So that Y will draw a new bill on X. X will accept it. Y will discount the bill. Out of the proceeds, Y honors the bill first, 30,000. If any amount left, that is again shared between X and Y. This is the continuation. Simple common sense. Look at. From now, the story changes. On the due date, X being unable to remit the amount due. How much amount X has to send? 20,000 rupees. Accepts a bill for 42,000 for 3 months, which is discounted by Y for 40,110. Tell me, this time earlier X has drawn a bill. Now Y is drawing a bill. For how much? 42,000. Come to Y books. Y is drawing a bill and X is accepting and we are receiving. Tell me, on the due date they said, now what is the due date here? 4/7/2022. That means July 4th. We are drawing a new bill. Entry. X account debit. For how much amount we are drawing a bill? 42,000. To bills payable account. Just a minute. We are in Y books now. So bills receivable account debit. Bills receivable account debit. For how much? 42,000. Who is the giver? X. So to X account 42,000. Here y is drawing, x is accepting. From x point of view it is bills payable. From x point of view it is bills payable. So July 4th, y account debit 42,000 to bills payable account 42,000. Over. Now continue what happened. What they said, why discounted this bill with the banker? So the entry is in y books now, because x is nowhere related. Now what is the entry? Tell me. Bank account debit. How much amount received? 40,110. What is the discount amount? 42,000 minus 40,110. Discount is 1890. 1890 discount. How do you need not to calculate na, just a difference. Okay. To bills receivable. Here the assumption is, after discounting the second bill, out of the proceeds, here how much amount we have? 40,110. 40,110. This amount is utilized first to honor the first bill. How much amount we have? 40,110. Out of this proceeds, how much? First we honor the bill. What is the previous bill? It is for 30,000. It is implied transaction. Observe. In the entire question, they did not say whether the first bill is honored or not. So it is nothing but implied transaction. Out of the proceeds of second bill, first y will honor the first bill. What is the entry for honoring of first bill? Simple. Earlier we credited bills payable account 30,000 na. Now we debit. Bills payable account debit. What is the bill amount? 30,000. To bank account 30,000. Any doubt? For this transaction, X will not record any entry. Why? Because who has to honor the first bill? Why is paying the first bill? Over. Till now, is it clear? Now continue the story. Next, what happened? Y sends 6,040 to X after meeting first bill. Now Y is sending 6,740 to X. Entry first in the books of Y. X account debit to bank account 6,740. Now we have discounted the bill earlier. What is the discounting charges? 1,890. Now this second bill discounting charges also shared between both the parties. This is very very important. Most of the students, they get confusion here. How to distribute second bill discount between both the parties? Same. How this 40,110 rupees utilized by X and Y, in the same ratio the discount also shared. I repeat, second bill proceeds how much? 40,110. How this 40,110 is utilized by X and Y? In the same ratio, discount also shared. That we need to calculate. Very important calculation. Observe carefully. Can you tell me the second bill amount first of all? 42,000. This is discounted for 40,110 and 1,890 is the discount. How this 40,110 is utilized by X and Y? Directly we have sent 6,740 to Y. Sorry, to X. Out of 40,110, we have just sent 6,740 to X. Yes. How much amount actually X has to send to honor the first bill? 20,000. I repeat, to honor the first bill, X has to send 20,000 rupees amount. So indirectly, out of 40,110, X utilized 20,000 rupees. So what is the total amount utilized by X? 26,740. 26,740 is utilized by X, and the remaining amount is utilized by Y. Here, if you can calculate how much amount utilized by X, that is enough. You need not to separately calculate how much amount utilized by Y. Now, how the discount is shared? Look at, for 40,110 rupee, what is the discount amount? 1,890. Then for 26,740, what is the discount amount? Cross multiplication. For 8090 into 26,740 divided by 40,110. How much calculate? 18,1890 into 26,740 divided by 40,110. It comes 1260. Now, out of 1890, 1260 is shared by X, and remaining amount 630 is shared by Y. Understood this concept? Very, very important. This is second bill. Second bill, discount distribution. Clear? Now, based on this, here we write 1230 to discount 1260 na 1260 total 1260 plus 6,740, 8,000. This is the entry we should record. Now Y is paying 6,740 to X. Now X is receiving 6,740 na. Go to in the books of X. Go to in the books of X and write down bank account debit 6,740, and we have to bear a discount na. Discount account debit 1,260 to Y account 8,000. Story not yet complete. Why? Because second bill accepted by whom? X. Who has to honor second bill? X. X will honor second bill when Y remits. How much amount should Y remit? Tell me. How much amount utilized by Y? First bill 10,000. Second bill, out of 40,110, 26,740. 13,000. Total amount utilized out of second bill by Y, 13,370 plus 630 rupees discount. Total comes 14,000. Total comes 14,000. And 14,000, 42,000. 28,000 rupees is added by X, and 14,000 rupees is sent by Y. To honor the second bill, Y has to remit 14,000. X will add 28,000, because 26,740 plus 1260 discount. Total he should add 28,000, so that the second bill gets honored. If it is honored na, then what is the entry we record in the books of X? Simple, bills payable account debit to bank account. In the books of Y, no entry. In the books of Y, no entry. But it will not happen here. It will not happen here. Look at the next story. Story will continue. Before the maturity of the bill, X becomes bankrupt. This will happen. blindly you can believe that this will happen. The party who draws the bill first, he will become bankrupt at the end. You can observe the problems. The party who draws the bill first, he will become bankrupt at the end. Okay. Now X is insolvent. He is unable to honor the second bill. Then who has to honor? Y has to honor. Y has to honor the second bill. Now go to Y books. First go to Y books. Okay. Write down the entry. Write down the entry first. What's the entry we record? X account debit 42,000 to bank account 42,000. Yes or no? If X fails to honor the bill, then Y has to honor the bill, na? That's why Y is paying bill amount 42,000. The same amount he could recover from X, 42,000. Now what is the entry in the books of X? In the books of X, what is the entry? Dishonor entry. Bills payable account debit. He accepted bill, na? So bills payable account debit 42,000 to Y account 42,000. That's it. Okay. Now finally, what is the balance of amount is payable or receivable by both the parties. Problem is not yet complete. Finally, who will receive amount from other party? Will X receive amount from Y or Y receive amount from X? To know that, here you can observe, you can easily understand now. From X, Y has to receive 28,000 rupees. From X, Y has to receive 28,000 rupees. Now, in this calculation itself, you can know that from X, we should receive 28,000 rupees. Now, what about that 28,000? That is a question mark. Look at what has happened. His estate paying 50 paise in a rupee. Finally, whatever the amount due from X, out of that you receive only 50 paisa. Out of that you receive only 50 paisa. That's it. Tell me what is the amount receivable from from X? 28,000. Out of that how much amount we are receiving? 50 paisa, means 14,000. So go to in the books of X, write down the entry, final payment receipt entry, bank account debit 14,000. From our point of view, it is bad debt, na? Bad debt account debit 14,000 to, now finally X account gets closed 28,000. That's it. Last entry important. Now for the same transaction, what is the entry we record in the books of X? X is making payment. So Y account debit 28,000 to bank account 14,000 to deficiency account, na? We record in the books of X deficiency 14,000, because this much of amount we are unable to pay to Y, so that it is a deficiency. This is our problem number 10. Observe, very conceptual problem. Accommodation bill. Tell me what happened here. First, one person will draw a bill on another person. X draws a bill on Y. X discounts the bill with bank. Out of the proceeds, the amount is shared by X and Y. When the amount of bill is shared by X and Y, the discount also is borne by X and Y. How do we share the discount? We check how the amount is distributed. In the same proportion, we also distribute the discount. After that, on the due date, X has to remit some amount and Y also will add some amount. Now Y honors the bill. If it happens, then X, Y, bank, all three parties are happy. But Here X is unable to send amount on due date. That is why Y is drawing a new bill on X. This time X is drawee and Y is drawer. Now Y discounts this bill with bank. Out of the proceeds, first he will honor the first bill. After honoring the bill, whatever the remaining amount left, that is again shared by X and Y. When the second bill amount is shared, then discount also should be borne, shared by two parties. Now, second bill calculation, second bill discount sharing is very, very important. If you commit any mistake here, final answer you commit mistake. So how to calculate second bill discount? Tell me. First write down the second bill, divide it into how much amount received and how much discount. Now out of 40,000 110, here 40,000 110, in the remaining problem anything. Out of 40,000 110, check how much amount received utilized by X and how much amount utilized by Y. X directly utilized 6,740 and indirectly utilized 20. Sir, what is this 20,000 rupees? First bill share. What is this 20,000? First bill share. Total amount utilized 26,740. Out of 40,000 110, 26,740 is utilized by X. So that what is the proportionate discount? 1260 should be borne. 26,740 plus 1260 discount. Total 28,000 is receivable from X by Y. Finally, this amount is unable to receive. Out of that, only 14,000 is received. Remaining 14,000 bad debt. From Y point of view, it is bad debt, and from X point of view, it is deficiency. This is the story of accommodation bill. This type of problem also we may get in the exam. Most of the cases. Clear, everybody? So, hope you understood this. Try to solve this problem again, because accommodation bill, whatever the problem you solve, the same steps will be followed. Same steps, same sequence, same condition. First bill, second bill. The party who draws the first bill, he become insolvent at the end. Same will happen. Clear? Try to solve the problem once again.